everybody, Mark Ellert here. Welcome to Intent versus Impact. Today this is something I'm going to talk about. For those of you that don't know, I'm a suicide survivor. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because the day of my attempted suicide, I intended something so much different than the actual impact that happened. The day of my attempted suicide, I wasn't actually trying to go. I wasn't taking my life. I didn't make the connection that what I was doing was possibly trying to kill myself. I was actually at that moment, I was feeling a lot of disrespect. I was feeling a lot of abandonment and rejection. I was worried about people walking out of my life. I was trying to do something in my body language to show something big that I was worried about those people leaving me and I didn't want them to. It was my way of asking them, please, don't walk out of my life. It was my way of showing them I didn't like the way they were treating me. It was my way of trying to make people feel guilty and feel bad and have regret for the way that they treated me, to try to change their behavior and show me that they aren't going to walk out of my life and abandon me. So when my attempted suicide happened, I never made that connection. I was just trying to communicate something to people. I didn't know how to communicate and ask them. And the biggest thing is since those people were already so easy disrespecting me, I was so worried about those people walking out of my life. It's so much easier for them after my attempted suicide to just walk out of my life and be like, ooh, this guy's nuts, I don't know how to deal with this. Because it's so easy for those people to already disrespect me and walk out of my life. They're the last people who are going to have any guilt and any regret. They basically just went, wow, Mark tried to kill himself, that's fucked up, and they just walked out of my life anyway. The people that it impacted the most are the people I didn't think about. The people that still carry the most guilt and the most regret are the people I didn't think about. My family, my loved ones, my brothers especially, the people that no matter what, unquestionably always have and always loved me. And that's really common for people like myself. In that moment of desperation, we didn't think about those people. We thought about the people that were hurting us, people that were destroying us, that we wanted to feel guilty. We didn't think about the people that unquestionably loved us, that we could have turned to and asked for help. That day my suicide attempt happened, if I would have waited an hour, coming home, I would have had an encounter with my older brother. I would have remembered him and remembered the people that love me and that I would not want to hurt and destroy. Same thing with my little brother. After my suicide attempt happened, it was hypothetical. People didn't know what happened. All they knew is they found a body and they found a gun. They didn't know what happened in the hospital. There was ideas. There was thoughts being tossed around. My little brother knew me and he knew my habits. He walked into the hospital. First thing he did was walk up to me and pick up my hand, and he saw the damage. He saw the self-harm that I was doing. He knew my habits. He immediately fell apart and said, Mark did it. It was an attempted suicide. My little brother was the first person to know, the first person to convey it to the rest of my family because he knew me and my habits. And again, that's when I didn't realize the people who always loved me and always knew me. Because at that time I was struggling. I was feeling disrespected. I was trying to communicate that to people. I was doing a lot of self-harm and self-damage. If I would have waited an hour, my older brother would have seen me. He would have reminded me. My little brother, if I was around him, he would have seen what I was doing. He would have pulled me to the side and asked if I was okay. The people that loved me would have reminded me that they love me. But these people that I tried to guilt trip and have regrets are the last people who are going to have that guilt. My family still carries a lot of guilt and regret, and I let them know that I always loved them, and I'm sorry I didn't actually think about them in that moment. Because that's really common. People don't think about those people, but that's why I want to remind you, don't think about the people that are hurting you and betraying you. Remind yourself of the people that do love you, that will always love you and be in your corner to support you and help you. My brothers are still exponentially close and supportive to me. We have an extremely tight circle, and we're so much better about communicating things. I bounce stuff off of them whenever I need to and whenever I want to. That's why also I have this tattoo actually for the memory of the people that always love me, my brothers. Brotherhood right here, the unity and the strength that we have, my brothers, brotherhood. I have that tattoo because I used to wear belt buckles. I collected belt buckles and wore them a lot. And that is the belt buckle I was wearing the day of my attempted suicide, that skull and crossbones with wings. I was wearing that belt buckle when I went down. And my brothers, they knew that I loved that belt buckle. It was a part of me. It was an image I loved. For 9 weeks, I was actually in a coma and on life support after my attempted suicide. The brain damage was significant. Doctors weren't sure of my survival. For 9 weeks, doctors were telling my family they wasn't sure if I was going to survive or not. So again, I really didn't think about the effect it had on my family for so long. They were wondering if they were ever going to see me again and be able to let them know how much that they love me. Both of my brothers got that tattoo. My older brother got it on his rib cage. It's got my initials and my birth date with brotherhood. My little brother has it across his bicep with my birth date and my initials. They got it in my loving memory, and that's why I got it back too, because for their loving memory. The fact that I will always love and remember them, and that tattoo will remind me of the people that always love me, that will stop me from ever attempting suicide again. I don't want to actually do something stupid to make people who don't give a shit about me to feel guilty. They're not going to feel guilty. So everybody, stop yourself from doing something detrimental and drastic to your life to make people who aren't going to care feel guilty, because they're not going to. Be realistic with yourself. If they're going to walk out of your life, they're going to. Love yourself. Know that you love yourself, and the people that love you are more important in your life, your family, and your support system. Remember that. Don't keep your focus on the people who are going to disrespect you and walk out of your life. If you don't trust them, don't hurt yourself to try to gain that trust from them. Everybody, trust your gut instinct and be able to love and care about yourself, everybody. Until next time, make good choices, everybody. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.